Okay, today we're talking about Picard episode 8 called Broken Pieces, or I like to say fill in the blanks and kill a bunch of people. There we go. Hey, this is Tom with Tom's Tech Show, and today I'm going to be talking about Picard episode 8. This episode was not as annoying as some of the other ones, so that was good. There's actually a part in it that I really liked that kind of got back to what I think is, and I remember and everything from actual Star Trek. So just conversations and stuff that really, led to that. But it comes at the end. So that is what it is. Okay. So I did figure out how to get the picture so that it comes up and is kind of full screen here. I go full screen on the MacBook because I play the video on my MacBook, and then I remote into the MacBook, and then I can display it in OBS. So that works. I haven't gotten dinged for anything that I've shown so far, copyright wise. So since this is just commentary, I would think that it would be okay just to show a couple of images about what's going on and not playing the full audio, video, and everything and showing everybody the episode kind of thing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the beginning, we get the origin story kind of the Zot Vash, and that they're around this little glowing round thing, and they all grab a hold of it, and then they all get shown this annihilation thing that was done by synthetic beings thousands and thousands of years ago. And that leads them to go crazy, and some of them go crazy, and some of them are determined to wipe the universe of all synthetic life everywhere. And that's kind of what's been going on. Things that we haven't been told, right? This is fill in the blanks. Not broken pieces. It should have been called fill in the blanks, definitely. Okay, so that happens. We jump back to the Borg ship, and our elf Elnor is there, and he is saved by Seven of Nine. They head towards, at some point during the episode, they head towards the center of the cube. And this episode jumps all over the place. It's like, I don't think any scene is more than like 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. It's just like, here we go, there we go, here we go, there we go, cut here, go there. So there's no, the flow of each piece is like broken up between everything else, and it gets, you go to one place, okay, this is going on, and then you go do something else, and then do something else, and then do something else, then you go back to this other place, and it's like, what were we doing here? Oh yeah, we gotta like refresh your mind about what you were doing in that place. So we get Soji beaming up to the ship, and Rios goes crazy, has no idea what's going on. Of course, that means he has to go drink and smoke, because that's what we do in Star Trek whenever anything hits us as odd. So, and then Rafi takes it upon herself to go and find out what is wrong. And she goes and talks to all the different versions of Rios holograms to try and piece it all together. And it has to do with a ship that Rios was on in the past with the Captain Villeneuve or something. And they brought on 2 first contact people onto the ship, and that captain got an order to kill them for some reason that he didn't know, that no one knew. And the captain kills them and then can't handle that he did it, so the captain kills himself. And then that leads Rios to be eventually have a breakdown and be also removed from Star Trek because of his mental break because of all that. So that's how we get him there. I don't know if that's what started him drinking and smoking, but I would think that if you're being removed from Starfleet because of a mental break, I think they could have given him, some heavy counseling and stuff after that. I don't know. There are counselors. There was one in Next Generation. We've got them. We know we have them. We can use them. But I guess not for him. He didn't want that. So we also, so where else do we go? We go to a point where Picard talks to Let's see if I can move up here. I'm jumping all over because this episode jumps all over. Goes and talks to, here's a piece. So Rios goes in his depression and everything else, and he goes and gets a picture out of a box. And this picture is, once it switches here, that is probably one of the worst, if you look at it on my screen, where I see it over here, this is one of the worst Photoshops I've ever seen in anywhere. I mean, their heads look like they're just kind of pasted on there. The guy's hand looks like it's almost twice as big as it should be. He's like he's got gorilla hands or something over there. It's like this none of the thing about this picture makes any sense. It's like, oh my gosh, when I saw that, I'm just like, really? Go again. I keep saying this. Go over find the people at the Orville who do all their special effects and everything that they do, and have them come over and tell you how to do things right. Because you people are not able to do anything correctly. So Picard does go and talk to the Dr. Girardi and just tells her basically, when we get to the starbase, you're going to turn yourself in for killing Maddox, and we can't trust you, and, tries to figure out what goes on. And of course, in typical Dr. Girardi lip-quivering fashion, she, bursts out in tears and all that. So that's getting a little, that part of her character is getting a little annoying. She has the only thing she has fortitude is when she's under mind control, I guess, of someone else, and then she can go kill people and do things like that. So I don't know. So they do that. We also get to, after that, what comes next. There's a lot of meandering back and forth, talking about the story, about explaining things to other characters about what's happened. Like, they go through a whole series of, who is it? Rafi talking to Soji about, I eat, I drink, I cry, I do all those things. No, it was Dr. Girardi talking to Soji. That's who it was. Like saying, I eat, I drink, I do all these other things, I feel, I do everything like that. So I'm just I just seem normal, like a real person, but and then convinces Dr. Girardi, well, maybe I guess we shouldn't kill you. Okay, thanks. So, these long kind of conversations, and then Rafi trying to find out what's wrong with Rios. And they finally sit down, and she explains the whole story about the captain and the two people and killing them and everything else, and the fact that the one person that was there that was killed, her name was Jance or something like that, and she was basically a copy of Soji. She was looked the same, so that's how he knew. That's why it affected him that way when she came on board, and he kind of freaked out. So, filling in some more gaps, putting some more pieces together, we do get back to the Borg cube, and 7 of 9 takes over. She gets the little things that come down and go into her body and activate her as kind of the Borg queen for the ship, and she starts activating all the Borg. And then of course, the Romulan sister is there and decides, well, that's fine. We'll just open the doors and blow them all into space. Okay, fine. So mass murder. Now we're advocating for mass murder in Star Trek, which is fun. I mean, it's happened before in different ways. There's been the crystalline entity has killed tons of people. And there's other examples, but here in Star Trek Picard, it's like every episode we're having people. There's no intellectual recourse about anything in it. It's like, oh, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, let's kill them all. That's fine. Yeah, we'll solve the problem that way. Okay, so we do get here towards the end. Of course, Soji goes and takes over the ship and says, I'm going to fly us to my homeworld because we need to get there. We're not going to Starbase 12 anymore. And Rios has a special code. even though Soji locks everybody out of the bridge, Rios has a special code that lets him undo that so that they can fly there. And then towards the end, here, Picard and Rios are having a conversation, and this is the one thing that I really liked. So I'm going to get down here to my notes, where it's way down here. Okay, so the Zhat-Vash are going on the premise of fear from something that happened in the past. And Picard tells him in the conversation, says, the future is ours to write, not theirs. And that what we have is openness, optimism, and insatiable curiosity. All they have is secrecy and fear. I thought that's such a great, Star Trek line, having the openness, optimism, and curiosity. That's what Star Trek is right there. That's description of Star Trek. That's coming out of secrecy and fear to, this openness and everything else. So I thought that was one really, really good thing. That was a very, very good Picard moment that was there. I enjoyed that part. I found something to enjoy. Thank you. Okay. So then after that, they they're heading towards the homeworld, but they have to go to a Borg conduit. And at the end of the episode, that's what they do. They hit the Borg conduit and head off just as the Romulans also are heading off to jump their ships into warp. And I think some of them head towards the conduit, and I think some of them just go straight there. It's very unclear. But at the end, they show one ship at least following them through the Borg conduit. Then the preview has, a bunch of craziness going on. You can watch the preview for next week. But some very good Picard-like things in this, as he's talking with people and being very, Picard kind of matter-of-factly. I still, of course, am not for any of the, mass killing and cursing. The mass killing didn't really make any sense. It's like, well, if the Borg are going to come after us, we'll just kill them all. Well, you don't need the Borg cube anymore. You already know where you're going, so just leave the ship. Disable the Borg cube and leave it. And boom, they're all fine. You don't even have to worry about them. They're not going to come after you because you've left. That you can't figure that part out, right? It's storytelling for the sake of killing and genocide, and that's one of the annoying things about this Star Trek is definitely. I mean, the body count, is into the thousands upon thousands right now. So, and we're only 8 episodes in. How many more do we have to go? All right. Well, those are my thoughts on episode 8. I mean, the nostalgia episode 7 with Troy and Riker was okay. It was kind of odd that there was, of course, no action or anything on the planet that Troy and Riker were on. That nothing happened. They just kind of wandered around, making pizza. But that's why I guess you have to have a calmer episode in different areas at times. But so this episode was definitely a lot of fill in the blanks, find out more backstory things about different things, and didn't move forward very much. I mean, all we did was they went from Picard and Soji went from getting on the ship to wandering around the ship having a bunch of discussions, and the ship kind of not doing anything, heading to Starbase 12, to suddenly now, boom, at the end we're flying off to the homeworld. So they didn't, not a lot move forward, just all this fill-in stuff. All right, well, there we go. That's episode 8. And next week, of course, is episode 9. We've got only a few more to go. We're more than halfway. Let's see. We've got 10 episodes. So we've got episode 9 and episode 10. So we'll see how well that goes. 2 more episodes. And then season 2. There's a season 2, I guess, already that they're going to be working on. Hopefully, what would be nice is if suddenly they get with the program and make it a little bit more Star Trek and knock off all the killing and profanity. That would be good for me. I would like that. All right. Well, thanks for watching this one. And if you got any comments or have anything else you want to that you liked or disliked, or if you did like that part about Picard at the end where he's talking about that curiosity and everything else, and that's what, the Federation was built on, was that exploration and stuff. That finally had something really good to look at. If you like that, let's talk about that. As always, like, share, subscribe to all of your favorite smaller YouTube channels, because YouTube doesn't really publicize us or push us up to the top like they could, but it'll help everybody out in the end. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.